Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
There's never been an outbreak in a salon, and we've been open for a year. But where have they been? Oh, in hospitals, long-term care. Those are the hot spots. You know, like, it makes no sense at all.
I just want to say, to all small business owners, we need to band together. It's time to take a stand. Open your doors. Let's get this economy going again. Let's put food on the table, and let's join together so we can make a difference.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in St. Catharines, Ontario, and I'm at the Evolution Salon, and I'm with the owners, Dennis and Lisa Constantini. And yes, they are the latest people to hop on the I Will Open bandwagon. They've had enough of these lockdowns. They've had enough of hypocritical politicians telling them to basically hibernate while they go off to the Caribbean or Hawaii or what have you. And they, as of today, are back in business. Let's hear their story. Okay, so Dennis and Lisa, we were talking off camera. You've been out of commission for months. You've got a business to run. You've got children to feed. You've got a mortgage to pay. And I guess at one point, Dennis, you said enough is enough. Here in January, you are going to reopen. What made you come to that decision?
Well, as we were talking earlier, it was just the build up. I mean, through the first shutdown, we have an autistic daughter. All of her therapies were canceled because they were considered non-essential. We start reading articles about how suicide rates are going up. Alcoholism is more prevalent. These big box stores are still allowed to be open, yet all the small businesses who are bending over backwards trying to stay in line with what the protocol is, going above and beyond to be clean as possible to provide a safe environment, but we get shut down, we get vilified because we want to be open, and that makes us bad. We all have families, we have mortgages, we have mouths to feed. And so it got to the point where after hearing about the head of the NHS for Niagara region going away on holiday, after being part of the whole we need to lock down, I was like, that was the breaking point. And it was like, I'm opening. I'm done with this. I'm opening.
Yeah, not only we need to lock down, but you better not go on holiday, even though he is going on holiday. You better not even have family members over for Christmas. The hypocrisy is off the chart. But you've raised many points, Dennis. I mean, we've heard time and time again, we're all in this together. I think that is the biggest lie to be coined since the check is in the mail. We see the big box stores cramming hundreds of people into their buildings, and yet I look at a little salon like this. The hygiene, the sanitation, it's impeccable. I can tell just by looking. You allow only limited number of people into the salon. I think in theory, Lisa, that you are in a far better position to maintain virus etiquette than a huge big box store is when they're cramming, like I said, hundreds of people into these stores.
Yes, I agree, because we can control the flow much better. We can control the appointments. I mean, when you're going to Walmart or you're going to Costco, there's no control there. There's none. Like, you see people just walking down the aisle, going the wrong way, not on their little sticker things. People are touching everything. Other people are touching that stuff. People are pulling down their masks to read at products. It's ridiculous, really. But, and who's making these decisions? Oh, you can get it there. But the statistics are showing that all of the places that have been outbreaks are long-term care, right? Long-term care, hospitals, and zero for salons. There hasn't been an outbreak where it has spread COVID-19.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Because Premier Doug Ford himself, the man who ran on the campaign slogan, Ontario Open for Business back in 2018, he says he is beholden to the science, and yet show me the science that the hair salon industry is a hotbed for the coronavirus, that there are so many typhoid Marys coming out of these places. That's not the case, is it, Dennis?
Well, no, because even when we're educated as hairdressers, hygiene is a huge portion of what we're learning. I mean, we have to learn we're dealing with people's skin. There could be lesions. We need to understand what's going on. So we're taught to sterilize and sanitize. It's part of hairdressing. It's part of what we do. So if we need to up the bar a little bit, extra protocol, we're on top of it. Hairdressers are on top of it. So there's no reason. I mean, especially in this place, we've got an entrance to the rear. They go out the front. The chairs are more than 6 feet apart. There's plenty of space. People wear masks. We're wiping things down between every guest. I don't understand how we would have to be closed when the Costco in Niagara Falls opened up, and on their first day they had over 1,000 people in, and that was okay.
Isn't that amazing? A key question, of course, though, Lisa, is what is the reaction to your salon opening up? I mean, I personally feel that our elected officials, our bureaucrats, quite frankly, the people in the mainstream media have generated so much fear that people, they become like, I call them the COVID Karens, ratting out businesses that are opening, thinking that this really is a super spreader type of environment when there's no evidence to back it up. So I guess, how many customers did you get in today? And on social media, what has the chatter been like?
Well, I would say that most of it has been... it's been mixed, but a lot of negative, a lot of like shaming, like how dare you, or it's because of people like them that this is gonna go on, like absurd statements like that, because there's no proof. There is proof. There's never been an outbreak in a salon, and we've been open for a year. But where have they been? Oh, in hospitals, long-term care. Those are the hotspots. It makes no sense at all. Also, people are kind of vilifying small business, saying like, oh, you don't care about the elderly. But my statement back to these people is, do you care about the children? We have an autistic daughter, like he said, and we've watched all her services were taken away, and she had made progress. She was starting to talk, and now she's reverted back, banging her head on the her forehead on the ground again.
Actually banging her head on the floor.
Yeah, because she needs to learn how to be social. She doesn't. That's what she needs to do. Now she's masked off. It's like the complete opposite of what you need for autism. And nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about, well, what about all the children that are autistic? Because we know there's a lot. All these children with disabilities, they're not in school. Therapies are all taken away, and then they're masked off. It's really ridiculous when there's no proof at all that schools and salon, and COVID doesn't even get to the kids, right? That we do know. But they're being punished. They're being punished, and we're being vilified if we're like, okay, we had enough. We've had enough. I think there's a crack in their story, and I think everybody's starting to see that.
And Lisa, the vilification I don't understand, because you're not forcing anyone to come in here. It's by a person's own free will. Yeah. If you think this is a virus hotspot, keep walking by. If you want to get your hair done, get a color treatment, what have you, come on in. What happened? I mean, this is what you hear on the left so often, especially when it comes to the abortion debate, my body, my choice. But all of a sudden, people on the left particularly want the government to mandate our bodies, saying, don't go to small businesses, you must wear a mask. Yes. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Dennis, tell me, with the customers that you had come in today, what was the feedback you got? And have you heard from other customers? Because we've heard this with other businesses that said, I've been a long-time customer for you, but I don't believe in what you're doing. I quit you. Have you received some feedback like that as well?
You know what? Actually, with a majority of my clients, it's been pretty positive. They're not necessarily wanting to come in because they're still kind of scared of what's going on, but they're also quite understanding. Being that they've been in this environment, they see how much we've upped things with trying to keep things sanitary and making sure that everybody feels comfortable and safe. A lot of them have written back saying, I've never felt more safe anywhere than this place. I don't feel safe doing groceries. I don't feel safe going out of my house, but when I'm in your salon, it's clean. I'm happy here. I feel comfortable. I just don't feel like I can come in now. So, on the flip side, Dennis, if I can, I mean, if I lived in St. Catharines and I needed my haircut done, I would specifically now seek you out. I see you and your wife taking a brave stance in reopening and providing a service that I want. So if I have
never come into your salon, I'd make a special trip. And I bet you there was a groundswell of people in this city that probably feel the same way.
Well, again, today was our opening day, and it was kind of like I didn't know how things were going to go. But after our Facebook post, people were reaching out to us. So I ended up doing 5 people today, which isn't really a lot. But of the 5, they were new people that I had not done before. And they all came in because they wanted to support what we were doing, the cause that we were standing up for ourselves.
And you know what, folks? You know what I really like about this story? It's not just a de rigueur, I will open story, but you might recall the story we aired recently about the Chrome Salon, also here in St. Catharines, Ontario. And the owner there, Alicia, reimagined it, if you will, as a film production audition company. So you're not coming to a salon for a haircut, you're coming to a production company for an audition. And while you're there, well, of course, you're going to get your haircut. You want your portfolio to look good. And I couldn't help but notice you've got a similar sign on your door. Is that your ace in the hole, Dennis, that going by the book, and evidently, according to Alicia, the city of St. Catharines doesn't have a problem with what she's doing, so that this is, technically not a salon, not a barbershop, but a film production company that deals with haircutting when you're having your audition?
Well, originally the intent was to just open. I was prepared to get ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket. But because of our Facebook post, Alicia actually reached out to us, and she told us what she was doing. And it was like, wow, that's brilliant. I mean, how she came up with it, I have no idea, but I'm so thankful that she shared it with us, because now it takes a little bit of the stress off of, hey, we can open and we don't have to worry about getting bombarded with coming in, writing tickets, coming in, writing tickets, coming in, writing
Doing what the
tickets.
politicians are suggesting, like get creative, go online. But our type of business, we can't get creative. Not all businesses can be online like other businesses do it online, like restaurant pickup. Well, we're not that kind of business. We're out. We're just out of it.
Exactly.
Literally out. So we're getting creative, like you told us, right? So we're getting creative. We're coming up with staying in the game, maybe changing our plan. Right?
Exactly. And that's the other thing too, isn't it, guys? I mean, for one thing, I don't believe for a nanosecond that the politicians and bureaucrats, they're going months and months without getting any haircuts or hairdos. I simply don't believe that. They're pulling it off somehow. And also, these people, they're in the public service. They have a job for life. They have a golden-plated pension and benefits. They don't know what it's like to have a balance sheet, to make payroll, to make sure you're in the black. I mean, again, it speaks to the outrageous fallacy of this business that we're all in this together.
I think it's difficult for people to relate. If you have a job where you're getting paid a regular salary, you're able to work from home, you're protected in that way. Mm-hmm. To try and see the side of a small business owner is difficult because you've never had the hardships of trying to open, trying to get funding. Are you going to be able to pay your bills this month? They haven't had to live those struggles. And just to assume that, you walk into a place and it's beautiful and it's, oh, wow, it must be nice. You have this great business and things are great. Well, they don't see the hours that you put in. They don't know the nights that are sleepless because, hey, it wasn't really that busy this month. Or when you're starting off, how it's the challenge of getting your name out there and building. So, I can sort of understand where they're coming from in being so scared and kind of saying, hey, just shut down. Just shut your business down and then this will all be over. Yeah. But we all know that it's not just going to be over. And the longer we stay closed, the more detrimental it is for all of the small business owners who support a majority of the economy. 100%. There's going to be even more of a burden for those people, and there's going to be more of a burden for healthcare because people are getting sicker mentally, emotionally. Yeah. This is not healthy.
Well, Alicia said she did get positive feedback from one person at the City of St. Catharines bylaw. Regardless, if bylaw comes back here and tickets you for whatever reason, I want to make you guys our next fight the fines candidate. In other words, we'll take on your legal case. We'll get you a top-notch criminal lawyer. We will crowdfund all your legal fees. You won't have to spend time in court. You won't have to pay a nickel of your own money. What do you think about that?
I think that's absolutely awesome. It's absolutely awesome. That takes a lot of the pressure off, for sure. And, I just want to say, to all small business owners, we need to band together. It's time to take a stand. Open your doors. Let's get this economy going again. Let's put food on the table, and let's join together so we can make a difference.
Fantastic. Listen, I wish you nothing but success. I hope there are more brave shopkeepers here in St. Catharines and right across Canada, as a matter of fact, Dennis and Lisa. So good luck with your business. And if anyone from bylaw or law enforcement is watching this, I'm here at Evolution, not to get a haircut, but to have an audition. How do you like them apples? For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, are you sick and tired of politicians and bureaucrats telling you that you cannot open your business? Well, if you're going to take a rebel stance and open the doors, please go to iwillopen.com. That's iwillopen.com. Reach out to us and we'll tell your story to the world.